Sarah and Max, an unlikely pair in this wild podcast, they're the perfect flair. Sarah's charm, so feminine and free, a Cali girl spirit under the podcast tree. Max a strong force with a punch in every word. Together they navigate this dating absurd. Don't forget to hit subscribe, join the crew for more laughs and tales just for you. Now back to the show.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Good for Shidduchim. I'm your host, Sarah Levine. Along with me is my co-host, Max Landisman, who came up with a really nice theme song.
Oh, way to put me on the spot. Yeah. It's hard to do it now.
But I don't think you're going to want to sing it to the whole...
Shidduchim.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We're in Shidduchim. But you're not in Shidduchim, so...
No, but you could say, I'm in Shidduchim.
But I'm in Shidduchim.
Yeah.
Right. Please don't send me your resume.
You're busy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Okay, everyone. Welcome back. We have a nice
I'm not going to be busy after this episode. The people are going to be so pissed off. I'm joking. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait to find out.
We'll see. We have a nice episode coming up for you today. And we just wanted to let you guys know we're up to 100 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting.
Huge shout out to Nami and me. She put us on her story and just everything exploded.
Oh, is it? Is it from her?
Yeah, it is absolutely from her.
Wow.
And it's a couple of memes here or there, but she had a big part in it, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate that. That was really nice. And we also appreciate her Instagram too as well.
Yeah,
so go check her out.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah. And also please email us at goodforshidduchim@gmail.com if you have any questions for us or any questions for the previous hosts we've had on. We do have a nice lineup for you coming in the next couple weeks.
Found out Muslims were in Shidduchim, not Mormons. See, we're the only Shidduchim podcast that I know of that talk about this type of stuff. Where's he going to hear about this?
Diverse cultures and dating.
Yeah. I hate saying diverse cultures. I just can't deal with it. But like just whatever. But it is that. But like every time somebody says diverse, I think of like DEI, and I just can't stand DEI. But it's just interesting and it's fun.
Okay. Well,
it's all good for Shidduchim.
It's nice to hear. I was actually at the address today, which is also good for Shidduchim.
The address, right? That store or whatever?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Good for Shidduchim.
It's the only store you can take Shlomi to because he'll be learning there's like a base measures there or something.
Yeah.
Or some farm.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I was looking for a tallest cover and they didn't have any.
It's not good for Shidduchim.
No, that's not good for Shidduchim.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today we wanted to discuss monogamy. In the dating realm of the Jewish culture.
Got you. So you shouldn't be with somebody if you are married, correct? I agree.
Hey,
what?
Some people do what they got to do. I'm just kidding.
That's what happens when you spend more than 5 seconds on the Upper West Side.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, so we do come up with some, dilemmas and like, you want to date two people at once and like how long do you date both of them at the same time? When can you drop one of them?
I hear that.
And we also are going to talk about, if you get multiple resumes at once and you say yes, and everybody else says yes on the other side. Like, what do I do? Everybody is like five people saying yes.
Do you think like every girl is thinking, well, of course you date one person at a time?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was so in my opinion, I was I was totally okay with dating multiple people at the same time, only because like first, second, third date, I feel like you kind of are just starting to get to know people. And not only that, dating multiple guys, you kind of get a little perspective on what you like, who you like, what date you feel was a little bit better and why. But I know in some situations, some people can get really confused, so they don't like to date multiple people at once.
Right.
I think that you can date multiple people at once until up to the fourth date. Up to the fourth date, you probably should know what you like.
So you're saying you give it the 3-date rule, but you have to complete the third date and then decide to go out on the fourth date. Once you go on the fourth date, you got to get rid of everybody.
Yeah, you have to decide by the fourth date, like, okay, like I need to really just narrow it down to one guy, or else you just get yourself in such a hot mess.
Right. To play devil's advocate, why the fourth date?
That was just for me. I just felt like I really couldn't open up on the first or second date. The third date, I felt like I was more of myself and like I was starting to get to know the guy a little bit more. By the fourth date, hopefully there's like something that's like something can grow, you know. The first, second, and third date, it was just for me. Other people will be like, what do you mean? On the second date, like I totally understood like who she was, and like I understood who he was. Okay, that's great. For me, it was like the fourth date, I kind of knew like if I was into him or not. So I would definitely narrow it down and make sure that I was focusing on just one guy by the fourth date.
Yeah, it also sounds like, because I know that when you were dating Shlomi, or at least after the fact, after you got married, you've mentioned that when you were dating him in the beginning, you thought he was going out with multiple women.
Yeah, I did.
Which is hilarious to think, like, Shlomi's biggest... Shlomi could be, but he's just not. Like, he just doesn't, because he just whatever.
It's true. I did ask him on our third date if he was seeing other people, and he was very taken aback by that question. But I was just protecting myself, and I wanted to make sure, you know, like, okay, like, am I just, you know, somebody along for the ride, or is he serious about us?
Right.
And from that conversation that we had, I was like, okay, so he is serious, and he's just dating me, so this is the real deal.
Right. It turns out that people do want to get married if you're not in the Upper West Side.
Yeah, well, I was on the Upper West Side.
Well, you were, but you know, yeah, you got to protect yourself. But
yeah.
What made you think that he was dating somebody else?
Because just my past.
Upper West Side.
It was like, it wasn't just the Upper West Side. It was just like in the past, I was like, you know, I would think like if I was going on a date with with a guy, like 1 or 2 dates, I would think in the back of my head, like, you know, how many dates has he gone on this week? And
really, that was a thought?
Yeah, I would always think that.
What? Like, what? I'm just curious.
Because you never know. You don't talk about I never talked about monogamy until like the fourth date. So like in my experience, like he would say no to, let's say I would go out with somebody and I really liked him. He would say no to me for a second date because he had already went on a first date with somebody else and he liked that girl better. Mm-hmm. So that's hurtful. Even though I probably did the same thing. It just like sucked. Mm-hmm. But I really like Shlomi, so I really wanted to make sure that like we were both on the same page and being monogamous.
Right. So I was gonna ask you about that. Do you only feel that way once you like the guy? Because like, if you don't like the guy, would you still want to find out if he's monogamous or nobody cares?
No, it was if I liked him.
If you liked him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
like at that point, I'm like, oh, like why does it matter? Like if he's going out with other girls and I'm not really into him yet, like. I'm not there to have that conversation yet, but I was always thinking about it.
Yeah, because you built up like some sort of connection of some sort. Because yeah, that's my biggest problem is building that connection.
Yeah. And
so like to me, it's almost like, yeah, you want to go to a singles event? I don't care, whatever. Go do whatever the hell you want. You know, like right. Can I come also? Or
right. So for you, maybe it takes you more than 4 dates to get there. You know, or maybe give yourself a cutoff on a 4th date. Like if you're going out with multiple girls, you can think about it. I don't think you even have to tell. Like obviously, you don't have to tell them. I just don't think it's wrong dating multiple people at the same time for a short amount of time. So
I was gonna definitely have that approach as well. I'm surprised that you had that approach also. I totally thought
I'm like a big advocate for it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I do think though, like even in my very aggressive and straightforward way of saying stuff, this is one of the few times where I'm gonna be understanding of others. Oh, this is a new Max.
But he's actually
So I do know people that I hate to say it, but I feel like more women are like this, definitely. They just feel like they have the headspace for one person. You know? But I also think like those people are the ones that spend 6 months before they go on a date to look behind the scenes of the other person.
Like they're more indecisive.
Like they really did like a bunch of research and they're like, okay, this is for sure like this is a business. Like we're going for like every date is like one step closer to a marriage, whatever, versus going on a date, figuring it out for a month or, you know, whatever. And then you'll get there.
Right.
I mean, you can tell me what you think, but the people that I know who feel like they only have the headspace for one person are those people that really look into the other person like a lot. Like I'm talking like FBI type investigation, shidduchim type stuff,
right?
Versus either the way you were dating or the way I date. I mean, like I get basic information. I don't need to know everything about them. Like that's what the date's for.
Right.
So I don't know what's your take on that.
Right. I think there's two different types of people. Like you mentioned, somebody who like does so much, like, or their mother does so much work
Don't get me started.
into the first date that is so much pressure on both parties. I feel like it's still okay, even in those like 6 months, if you're like really focusing on this one girl or this one guy, but another guy comes up, you can definitely focus on him too. But it also comes, I guess, down to personality. Like you could be really indecisive, and for somebody who would not know how to make a decision and just be completely confused and just be like a hot slob kebab through this whole entire thing, like they definitely shouldn't date more than one person at a time, because it's just going to be detrimental to themselves. Yeah. But if you're a person who is more casual or doesn't take the first date like so seriously, and you have a little bit more decisiveness, then I think it's by all means like go ahead. And like you'll be able, I felt like I was able to have a lot more clarity. Not that I did it on purpose, not like I was like, okay, I'm going to date 5 guys at the same time. It just like, if it happened, it happened.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like panicked about it. And then there would be some times where I wasn't getting any dates. So like maybe it made up for itself.
I hear that. By the way, when you mentioned, you got my blood boiling when you said, or if their mother is running their shidduchim world for them. Yeah. I think, like anyone who's listening to this would love your take on this as well. But anyone whose mother is involved in their shidduchim dating, I think should then be required to go on the date with them.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I think that if you can't deal with your own dating life yourself and your mother's going to be involved,
have her as a chaperone.
Absolutely. You should have like one of those like as a kid, like if you have like multiple kids, you take them to the park sometimes.
Like
they'll
a
put like a leash on them.
like you and Shlomi did.
But like an acceptable one.
You guys actually had
I know
leashes
we actually had a leash. It's actually hilarious. But what's it called? To have a leash, yeah, you can be a leash with your mother. It's like I cannot take care of myself, so therefore I need my mother to be here at all times. So before I get this free water at a hotel lobby, I'm going to ask my mother what to do.
Okay.
I think that's only fair, right?
Maybe have her on speakerphone the whole time.
I don't think that's fair.
Oh, you want her physically there?
Yeah, physically. She's got to be physically
right?
there. Totally, right?
I think that's so ridiculous.
I also think it's ridiculous that a mother's involved.
Right. The thing is,
you'll get your own dates.
You're like half joking, half being serious about it.
I'm not. I don't actually think you should do that.
Okay.
But I'm saying the way I find that ridiculous is the way I find your mother being involved in your shidduch life ridiculous.
Right.
Don't get involved. I don't want my mom to be involved in my dating life.
I was gonna say, because after the date, it's almost like you sit down with your mom and you talk about the date. And
I don't think I've ever done that. Ever.
But like I'm saying, it's almost like she was there.
Yeah.
But she physically wasn't there. But like sometimes I think they
just too overbearing stuff. Whatever. It's like the one it's like the time where I said it's like once they get married, they go off or whatever, and then they call their mother the next day. It's like, Mother, did I do it correctly? Is everything okay? Like, it's the way I view it. Yeah. It's just like, come on.
Right.
Just grow up.
I know.
Whatever.
There's a lot of helicopter parenting involved in it.
Whatever.
But also,
it's my own personal view.
Yes, it is. But we also wanted to talk about if a guy or girl gets multiple resumes at once.
See, that's another case where, even people that only like to go out with one person at a time, sometimes, it takes time to get people to respond, to respond back.
Right.
And it does happen.
Yeah.
When I was in the shidduchim, like the real shidduchim world, it's happened to me too.
Right.
But like I was still going out with 3 girls in a week, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But it's happened where, you can wait a month or 2 or whatever it is, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get 5 yeses.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
And you like forget, like you're like, who did I say yes to before? Because like you're like waiting so long for these answers. So fine, whatever. 2 weeks have gone by, nobody's gotten back to you. You probably assume it's a no, and then you say yes to another girl. 2 weeks go by, she hasn't gotten back to you, so you say yes to another girl, and then all at once they all rush in on a yes. Like, do you date those girls now, or do you push it off?
In my personal opinion, they made you wait for freaking 6 months or whatever it is. Screw them. Like, number one, I don't wait for anybody for 6 months. They can go screw themselves. I don't wait for nobody. A week, like, you want to, whatever, 2 days maybe, I don't know. Unless it's like someone I really absolutely want to go out with or something like that, then maybe I'll make an exception. But 6 months, go screw yourself.
Okay, so well, not 6 months.
But anyways, why can't they wait? Meaning they made you wait. You can go out with somebody else and say, I'm sorry, I'm busy. You know.
I guess it depends if you really want to go out with them. You don't want to self-sabotage yourself.
True, but you know, I do think that if someone makes you wait for an extended period of time.
Well, let's say she was busy. Let's say she was busy dating somebody.
For how long? 2 months or 3 months?
Well, let's say for a month, and she didn't get back to you, and then another girl was like traveling for
how long?
For another month. So then they both say yes kind of at the same time, because they're both back from, like, one relationship didn't work out and she just came back from traveling, and then let's say another one just popped out of the woodwork and she's able to go out with you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me, I'll go out with whatever, but
all three of them.
The way I view it is, if she made me wait, she can wait too.
Right, but okay.
I mean,
I'm saying, like, with legitimate circumstances.
No, I understand. I still think that even if they had a good reason or whatever,
make them wait for how long?
You know, you can go out with the girl you want to go out with and see how it goes. Like, sometimes it can be a one and done, which I'm very experienced in. But you know, but if you go out with a girl, whatever, you go 1 or 2 dates, whatever, you don't like it, then fine. Then go out with the girl. Unless, of course, like, you're absolutely dying hard to go out with somebody, then, like, you know, you still got to have a little self-respect, in my opinion.
Right.
Just let people just walk all over you, even if they have a good reason. Like,
I did always tell Shawkins I don't get in line.
Exactly.
I was told, like, a couple times, like, you have to give me a yes by tonight, because he's very popular. And I'm like, popular. I don't get in line. Very like, popular. Okay, let him go out with whoever.
Absolutely, 100%. Go screw yourself, as I like to say. Even Lisa Elephant, who we just interviewed.
Yeah.
She didn't even let you finish the sentence to say, like, absolutely not. Absolutely, do not even work with those people. They are terrible people.
Wait, what people?
You mentioned on that interview with Lisa Elephant, you were talking about how
people were being picky.
No, like those like Shadchanim who were telling you, I need a yes, like right now, this second.
Oh yeah.
She was adamant, absolutely did not work with them, and I totally agree. Totally agree. Who the hell are you to tell me I need an answer this second because it's so popular?
Right.
Right?
I don't know. I just said I'm
so popular.
Just gonna have to, like, think about it.
No, you can find somebody else. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, if he has a lot of people waiting for him, he doesn't have to wait for me for an answer.
Absolutely.
That was what I would say.
I sent him an emoji of a middle finger.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Who do you think they are? You're the top of the world. I gotten 600 shidduchim resumes. Congratulations. That means nothing. It's like that guy. It's like that kid who thinks he's so popular. He's like, I've got 1 million Facebook friends online. And you ask him, so what are you doing this weekend? Nothing. I'm on Facebook talking to my imaginary friends.
Oh my God.
That's what a shit. I got 40. Go screw. Come on. Whatever. Probably can't pick up a girl to save his life.
Okay.
Whatever. So anyways,
it sounds like we're kind of in agreement about dating multiple people at once. But when do you think you should kind of narrow it down to one person?
I like what you had to say. I thought, going out 3 times it's a really good number. I think even in the secular world, like, there's a 3-date rule. I think at least guys know this. I'm sure women know this as well. I don't know how to say it, but, like, basically there's the 3-date rule.
Right.
You go out for 3 dates. The 3rd date, like, you're sleeping together, basically.
Oh, is that a thing?
That's
on the 4th date?
For in the secular world.
Oh.
God forbid in this world. But I'm saying, like, there is a next step.
Right.
Meaning it does, like, after a 3rd date, you are essentially saying, like, at least you should know by then, like,
right,
this could actually be something.
Right. Exactly. And when do you think, like, you?
Because I definitely think first and second day way too early.
Yeah, that's true. But when do you think you can, like, you have to stop going to, like, events, like, let's say single events or parties for singles, or other things like that, that's more of like a single networking environment, when do you feel like you should stop doing that?
I think I don't think it's a black and white answer. If you're to ask me what you are, I'd say it really depends on the person. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but like when you were going out with Shlomi, like did you feel like, okay, this was like different than the typical guy you were going out with?
Yes.
Right. So I think, not that I know what this feels like, but I do think that there's like that extra oomph feeling where you're like, wow, this actually feels different. Where it's not even like, can you go to this or can you not? You don't want to go to those. You don't want to go there.
Right.
Why the hell would I go there? I'm with this person.
Right. But let's say you're like 2 dates in.
2 dates in for sure. Do whatever the hell you want.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. We're not talking about past the 4th date.
I think it's even a good thing because, you know, like, especially with guys, like especially after 2 dates or whatever, it's not, first of all, it's nothing to just like be stuck in a way. It's like, oh, you can't do anything anymore. Screw that. It's like you want to be with the person because you want to be with the person. So hypothetically, you're dating someone, let's say 2 times. I'm already thinking of some of the friends that we have, like they're just rolling their eyes right now because of what I'm about to say. But
I don't know what you're about to say.
but I don't think it's so crazy. But like, even if, let's say, the girl that you're dating is even at this singles event, let's just say, right, and you're there flirting with other girls, whatever it is, I think that's even a good thing because if you really truly like this person, I feel like you naturally will navigate towards her anyways. Meaning, because it's like, just because you're married doesn't mean like you're not gonna like see a pretty girl here or see another girl here. You want to be with the girl you're with. So it's like, especially when you're not married, when, you know, dated twice, I mean, it's like considered nothing in a way, but you're not bound to her at all. Like it just furthers, I think, furthers the relationship where it's like, oh, wow, he doesn't even want to be at this event because he thinks that this is the girl he wants to be with. So it's just like more emphasis on like
the relationship that's starting to form.
Exactly.
The potential that it could have.
Especially in the beginning, like if he just like loses interest and wants to go out with somebody else because of an event, I don't think you can't blame the event. I think he's just not interested in the girl.
Right. Yeah. I kind of agree. I think that definitely expand your horizons up until the 4th date, until you have really figured out if you like who you're dating or not. What?
At least according to us, it's good for shidduchim.
It's good for shidduchim. Yeah, but I also feel like it's it kind of puts a little bit of pressure off. But again, like only do it for like if you're really doing it for the right reasons, not like
I agree.
If you're like trying to be a player and date all these girls and go here and go there and then like okay, come on,
to be this player, it drives me off the wall because what I don't like is a liar. Nothing pisses me off more than a liar. If a girl asks me after 2 dates, she asked me straight up, she's like, are you dating somebody else? I'm like, maybe. And how would you feel if I was? Right. Or whatever it is. If she wants to be all mad and whatever, I probably don't want to be with her. Right. Right? But I totally agree with you. You go out 3 times. I think it's only fair that you give your full undivided attention to that person because it's just like, if you go out longer than that and you're dating, I feel like you're just a piece of trash. You're just like...
Well, I guess you have to evaluate like why you're dating in the first place. But right, if you're being serious... If you're being serious.
At least in this world, like we're looking to date to get married. Yeah. In this type of world, I think it's only fair. In my opinion, whether you're a player, whether you're this or whatever, in my opinion, I like to be upfront with the girl. As long as you're communicative and very straightforward and everyone's on the same page, whatever you feel like choosing to, look how like understanding I am to people now. It's unbelievable.
Well, I was gonna say it actually does open a conversation. Like if a guy would ask me like, hey, are you like seeing other, like it's our 3rd date, like how are you feeling? Are you seeing other people? Like what are your thoughts? It opens up a whole entire conversation to communicate about how you're feeling about each other. Like so that's also good.
It's good. I don't want to get a question like that too early because it's like.
But if you do, who cares? If
I do,
you can think about it or whatever.
I mean, if I'm a guy and I heard that, it actually would be a bingo in my head where it's like, oh, she really likes me. I really like that. Like if I happen to really like her, I think it would be great.
Right.
But if I'm not really into her, then it's kind of sort of a turn off in a way. So you're kind of taking a shot with
But
that.
at least you're communicating about that.
It's fine. You can communicate all you want, you know, but yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, after like a date and a half, you're like, am I the only girl you're seeing?
No,
I'm like,
not a date and a half.
I'm the only one I'm looking at currently at this second, but maybe not next far, whatever, but you get it.
Okay, Max.
I don't like serious questions in the very beginning, whatever. Sure doesn't.
Okay, another topic we wanted to discuss today was long distance dating.
Long distance, my absolute hate it.
Have you ever done it?
Of course I have.
Oh, really?
It's very difficult.
I've never done it.
It's very difficult for shidduchim. It just is. You're not in the same place.
How far were you guys?
I don't want to talk about it, but
But it wasn't. It was like multiple hours apart.
Multiple hours apart. We're in like different states. Multiple hours apart.
You know what I mean? Like
we're in different
states. It wasn't like 2 hours. It was like
if it was 2 hours and I really like the person, and trust me, we'll figure out a way to meet up.
Oh, okay. Because I know people do East Coast, West Coast stuff.
That's even crazier.
Or different countries like Israel, America.
That's
stuff.
also I can't do it. I don't even want to go to Brooklyn to date somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's so much effort going out of the city.
I've already wrote off the Upper West Side. Forget that.
Don't write it off.
I already did. It's too late.
So I never did it.
Long distance?
I've never done long distance.
You're just lucky. You happen to be in a great area.
I know, but I mean, some guys came up from like LA.
Some guys flew out to meet you from LA?
No. Like the possibilities came up. But I was like,
but you're like, absolutely not.
I knew I couldn't do a long distance. I knew I could not do it. So I was like, there's no way.
Why?
He has
Why
to
do
be
you feel
local.
that way?
I feel that, okay, I'm just talking about myself.
Well, sure.
This is totally my own opinion. I'm sure a lot of people won't feel this way. But I just feel that if I'm not able to be with the person or have like I guess good communication, like in terms of like time difference and stuff.
Well, we know you're not very tech savvy.
I am not, but I probably wouldn't even develop a relationship, and I probably end up dating other people.
I hear. Oh, look at you.
That is just myself though. Like,
I totally agree. I totally hear that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm against it because it works for other people, but it doesn't work for me. I like to meet the person in person. Sorry, I'm old school.
Right. But like multiple times, like you don't want to have to like bang it out. Like there's like, okay, we only have like 10 days to see each other and we're going to do date 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So much pressure.
So much pressure.
And you got to make a decision. She's holding off 25 shidduchim for you. I'm like, then go out with 25 shidduchim.
But you've also, once you've flown to wherever he is or flown to wherever she is, you have committed to X amount
You've
of dates.
also committed to 2 dates minimum.
Minimum.
By the way. Imagine if
and
it's
it could
totally
be
off.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's miserable. It's the worst.
Again, disclaimer, like I know my friend, she dated somebody on the other side of the world and it worked out fantastically.
Really?
So good for her.
From where?
South Africa.
South Africa? Mm-hmm. And where is she, New York? Mm-hmm. Up West Side?
No.
Where? From Pittsburgh?
I'm not going to tell you.
It's fine. Okay. I'm not going to know it anyways, but South Africa, how'd that happen? Christian mingle?
Yeah, Christian mingle.
Tinder?
Yeah, all the above.
I hear.
But anyways, I was just giving that as an example. I'm sure a lot of people also do like New York to New Zealand and Australia and Canada, like all of these different countries, and people do it. And I give them a lot of props because I would not be able to do that at all.
Yeah.
I would definitely put so much pressure on myself that I would probably just like screw everything up. And then
I wouldn't put too much,
no, I would 100%. I mean, like I'd be like, okay, I'm here for a week. I have to see this guy for a week.
Yeah, I better get my money's worth, definitely.
and then not only that, like then you leave and then you have to think about the whole entire process after. Oh my God, it gives me such anxiety just thinking about it.
You want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
My parents actually were a long distance relationship. My dad, I believe.
North and South, right?
Yeah, I believe my dad. This is before like cell phones or whatever.
Yeah.
My dad, I believe, was in Florida at the time. My mom was in BU, Boston University, before Boston was anti-Semitic. You know, I don't know if BU is, but like Harvard, and you know, the tippity, what do you call it?
The tippity snippet. The tippity snippet of.
You're rubbing off on me. Is that a word?
No.
Is it good for shidduchim?
It's great for shidduchim.
Okay, fine.
So the tippity snippet of the colleges.
I don't think it's true. Like, I don't know why in my head it's like my parents only actually dated 4 times in real life, and they were just on the phone for a year. But I definitely think they went out a lot before. But yeah, it actually was. So it's not like it can't work. You know, and some people, whatever.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Listen, good for them, and they're holding strong, man.
Yeah, I don't know, it's like 30 plus something years.
Yeah,
it is.
Kanai Nahara.
Yeah. Shidduchim.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to do long distance in that sense. I can't do long
distance. I need again, like, I don't even like the fact that, because I just, like, if I want to hang out with if I want to, like, be with somebody or whatever it is, I don't want to freaking, it's like a whole day's worth to travel.
Right. And also Zoom is just not the same.
It's not the same.
Like,
especially once you're going out 2-3 times, whatever, and now you're like consistently going out.
Yeah.
Especially now that you're now monogamous or whatever it is. And like you want to see the person. That's just, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like human nature to do it.
Some people just don't like people in general. They just feel the need that they have to get married or something. So they just want someone and see them as least as amount as possible, which that's not me. But it's just terrible. Like you imagine, like you got to drive an hour and a half to go see it. Forget it.
An hour and a half, that's not bad.
That's freaking far. You're committing to 3 hours in traffic.
Okay, but that's not bad. An hour and a half.
It's too far. It's too far. Come closer.
Well, you could also meet halfway. Like you can also compromise.
And what? And just hang out in some bus stop, whatever.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I'm not really into that stuff.
Oh, I would try to do halfway point.
It's too annoying. Like you would show me, at least you're in the city, whatever. As much as I don't like the city, it physically is not far.
Right.
It's just annoying that, you know, one day can take you 10 minutes and another day can take you an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Depends on when you go.
Now, can you go to single events while dating somebody long distance?
It's a great question. I think I mean, if you're just asking it for
also, sorry, just extending that. If a girl who comes up local says yes to you, let's say, and you're dating somebody long distance, would you say to go out with them?
How long have you been going out the long distance?
Right. That was going to be my question. Is like, I guess, you
can introduce your new girlfriend to the girl long distance.
Like Maryland, me, California.
Maryland, California, okay.
Yeah, like the girl that you're dating, state by state.
I lost you. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Where am I?
I don't know. New Jersey. You're in Jersey.
So I'm a player with girls that don't exist in my state.
Forget I said that.
All right.
Okay.
Real question.
No, the question I was going to ask is, does the 3 date up to the 4th date monogamy?
I don't think a Zoom date is the same as a
Does
date.
that count for somebody who's long distance?
I don't think it counts till you meet.
Okay, so let's say you do meet and you're there for like literally a week and you go out every single day.
I think it's...
Are you still giving yourself the 4-day monogamy rule?
So it depends. I think you just got to be honest with yourself. Do you have the tingly feeling of like, okay, wow, this is legit? Hey, do you really like this girl? In my opinion, if you do, then stick with the girl. But like, if you're just sitting around wasting your time, like she's here for a week, right?
Right.
You're not gonna be a jerk and say like, get lost or whatever. That's like really a slap in the face.
That's what I'm saying. You're committed to the full week.
Okay, you're committed to the full. It must be a damn good singles event, because I would, even though I'm like totally okay with going, I would feel weird. I would feel terrible.
Weird? Yeah.
Because girls here for a week, it sounds like also that you probably spoke for a month beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
You speak for a month beforehand and she comes here for a week.
Yeah, there was probably a lot of like stuff like leading up to her coming in.
That better be damn like I feel like if you're playing it that way, then you must have felt something for this girl. Like if you're going to continue, like if I don't like somebody, I'm not even talking to them for twice or 3 times or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're like, that's good to know.
Hey, if that's your rule, that's your rule.
But I mean, it would sound like you really like this person. So if I were that person, I probably wouldn't. Even for me, it's like, probably don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like after a week of dating, if somebody flew in, like if you flew to him or if he flew to you, after a week, I would give myself like at least a day to just like really digest what happened and just like really put into perspective. Think about it. You
think you really need a day? Like I can understand sometimes you would, but sometimes it's like really clear.
I guess then yeah, if it's clear that you still really like the person and you want to continue dating, I would say not to like say yes to anybody else, and I would say not to go on any events because that is just going to mess you up.
Right.
But if you really aren't so sure and you're like, could be, couldn't be, I'm not so sure, I do still have to think about it, I would say if another date comes up or if you want to go to a single event with your friends, do it.
I hear. What about if you're dating someone like really long distance, like she's name the most random country ever. Not all
Greenland.
Greenland?
Yeah.
Is that far? Okay, it's like 7 hours.
Or Iceland?
Iceland's supposed to be very nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, I guess it's like a 7-hour trip, right?
I don't know.
I was thinking more like Australia, or it's not random, but it's far.
So New Zealand or Australia, China, Tokyo.
China. Fine. So like someone has to travel like a really far distance.
Yeah.
And they come here. It's not like they can come here for 2 days and leave. That's like, it's like minimum a week because it's like the trip is so far. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
So like, I don't know. In that case, like personally, I don't think I could go out on a single date, on a singles event or anything like that. But if a girl's traveling in from Maryland and it's like not that big of a deal, then nobody cares.
Right. I guess it depends on the distance of how far the other person is traveling, how much work you both have put up to meeting, like before meeting, if there's a emotional connection before actually meeting.
Right.
And then after you guys have already met, like how you feel about that. Yeah. So there's, I guess it's a like 3-part like step to figuring out like how you actually feel.
Yeah.
Which sounds really hard, to be honest with you. Whoever is in a long distance relationship, like kudos to you guys.
Another reason why I don't like to do it.
But it sounds like also like an emotional stress. But yeah, I would say that if you're unsure, even after the first part of being to get like having that emotional connection, meet each other and you're still unsure, I don't think there's anything wrong with like going out with somebody else at that time and then or a single event or anything like that. At a certain point though, you guys are gonna have to like have the conversation about like how you guys are feeling about each other and if you want to keep dating or if you're dating other people, whatever. So I don't know, I feel like it can get a little confusing when you're doing long distance.
Totally. I think, someone made it very clear in my mind, it used to be like when I was dating, I used to overcomplicate things, and I'm sure a lot of people do. It's like, should I continue to go out with this girl? Should I not continue to go out with this girl? Blah, 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 right? And this person made it's not like he's like telling me like yes or no. He gave me a very easy framework. I don't even think he realized what he was doing at the time, but it made it so clear for me. And I just asked myself, it's like, is this the person where if she were to come home, do I want to hide in the corner and try to avoid her? Or can I not like stop thinking about when is she going to be home so we can spend time together? And
you're saying when you're dating?
Yeah, in a way. Not that she lives
like you just want to be with the person.
Just picture, yeah. Like, are you genuinely like you can't wait to be with that person. You're always happy to be with the person, whatever.
Or does it feel like work?
Exactly.
Right. If it feels like work,
I don't know, for whatever reason, for me, that made things so simple. It's like, I really...
Like, do you want to share with her?
Everyone's a nice person,
Yeah.
except there are people that aren't that nice and schmucks.
Not nice.
Whatever. But for majority of the time, people are nice people. And it's like, well, there's nothing wrong with them per se. But we're talking about a very intimate, like, situation. You're picking one person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? They can't just be nice. Like, nobody's marrying their...
Well, I mean, it just has to be with your own perspective, like what you're looking for. Sometimes people marry not nice people, and they're okay with that, and they still are excited to, like, see them at the end of the day.
I hear that. There's a lot for me to say on it, and a lot of jokes I could say. I'm not going to go there because I was reprimanded this past Shabbos. I made some joke or whatever it is. And so,
not by me, though.
You know what's amazing? While everyone was laughing, they're like, you can't say that. I'm like, you're laughing. What the hell are you telling me?
Because I don't know.
I don't know. It's like a double standard. No, you can laugh, but whatever. Anyways, shidduchim.
Shidduchim.
But I think everyone, ultimately, in my own opinion, nobody should be making your decisions. You know yourself better than anybody. You're the one who ultimately should be making your own decisions. Nobody knows better than you.
Yes.
So I think you just got to determine for yourself whether it's the right move for you or not.
Yes.
And just try not to be a douchebag. We could use a lot less douchebags in the world nowadays.
I was going to say, like, dating is actually kind of the most selfish thing you can do.
And it should be.
And it should be, because if you aren't selfish in terms of, like, figuring out what you need, what you want, you're just going to be very confused all the time, and you're not going to be able to make a decision for yourself. And at the end of the day, it's about you, what makes you happy, but also what makes the other person happy. But you have to be okay with yourself first. Yeah. You have to know what you want first, what you need first, which probably comes with a lot of therapy.
I think therapy is great.
Which I also think is fantastic.
Therapy's the best.
But when you're doing it by yourself, it could get a little hard. It can get overwhelming. That's why if your mother's doing everything for you, like, how are you supposed to have, like, a sense of self and self-identity? You don't know what you want or need, or, like, when things come up, you just go to your mother, and then when you get into a relationship, like, how are you going to solve anything? You don't have a sense of self. So
especially when you're very young.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, girls start dating, like, they could be 18 years old, 19 years old, and even guys, like, 21 years old.
Yeah.
You don't know who the hell you are. I mean, there are guys who do, but a lot of them don't. Even if they're,
like,
quote-unquote, great guys.
Like, problem solving, it's hard. But, like you said, I totally agree with you. Like, like, the person who is dating long distance, like, they know themselves, they know what they want, they have, but you have to have a lot of perspective on it. And I know for myself, I was just not emotionally mature enough to do that. And like I said, I'd probably end up, like, not cheating, but not being monogamous. Not cheating, but, like, not being monogamous, and like the other person thinking we were. But
right.
I'm just being truthful.
Yeah, I hear
just
that.
Sharing my piece.
I hear that. And it's especially hard for people who aren't necessarily in large Jewish communities where there's a lot of people of eligible dating age or whatever it is. So I do feel for them.
Yeah.
But listen, I mean, I moved to New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And because I want to be around people my age, not just for dating. I just want to be around people my age to hang out with.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone's got their own, reason for being where they are. But, just something to keep in mind. And everybody knows themselves better than you. And don't let anyone make your decision for you. That's my biggest takeaway.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. This was a great talk.
It was.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's very good for Shidduchim.
It is good for Shidduchim. If you guys like us, please subscribe to our podcast. We are everywhere. We're on Apple, Pandora.
Yeah. I have one
Spotify?
I have one friend who listens to nothing except Pandora.
I think that's hilarious.
I sent him. He's like, when are you coming out with a new episode? I'm like, we come out with a new episode every week.
Right.
He's like, he's listened to, like, the first 2 or whatever, and, like,
so
we
funny.
already published like 10 at that point. So I sent him, like, the Spotify. He's like, I don't have Spotify. So I'm like, well, we're on all the other
iHeartRadio.
Yeah, we're on iHeart, we're on Google. He's like, I don't have any of these, whatever. Even though you don't need any of them, you just click the link.
Yeah, just click the link to listen.
But he's like, do you have Pandora? I'm like, I don't. I never thought of it that way. And I, on the spot, then just like got through on Pandora. So we're now on Pandora.
There we go.
So for that one person out there that uses Pandora.
We're just very...
whatever's good for Shidduchim is
whatever's good. Whatever's good for our friends or whatever with our feedback. See, we listen. We listen to the feedback. You want Pandora? We got you Pandora.
Exactly. But you do need to reach out to us. We're not going to read your minds.
Yeah, that's true. Please give us 5 stars wherever you are listening to our podcast, and subscribe to our podcast, and like us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram.
Sure.
And thanks,
all
everyone.
That good stuff. Absolutely. Until next time.
Until next time. Bye.
And remember, everything will always be about Shidduchim. Catch you in the next episode.